Good morning, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of the 30 most important albums in the history of hard rock and heavy metal. 30 albums, 30 days in November. These are some of the albums that I feel are the most important in helping influence what became and has become hard rock and heavy metal. Those truly groundbreaking albums that influenced so many other bands, influenced styles of music, that sort of thing. So today we are on, day 9. So I lied yesterday. Yesterday on the King Crimson episode, I said that we were moving into the 70s. We were done with the 60s. I kind of lied. I forgot there were 2 other albums from the late 60s. In fact, both from 1969 that I did not want to forget in this series. And the first one is from August 5th, 1969. I can't find my CD copy of it anywhere, so I got a picture of it here. Released on the Elektra label, recorded at the Hit Factory in New York City, produced by John Cale. I'm talking about, of course, the debut album from the Stooges. All right, Iggy Pop and the Stooges, otherwise just known as the Stooges. The album is just called the Stooges. And one of those albums, along with the MC5 album that I talked about the other day, Kick Out the Jams, 2 of the albums on this list that, many people call the birth of punk rock. But, you listen to both of these albums and you can see where kind of punk went when punk became like a musical force for a few years later on in the 70s. You can hear the seeds on both the Stooges debut and the MC5, and then later on with the New York Dolls in a couple of years, right? But the Stooges album and the MC5, at their core, when you listen to them, they're really heavy albums. They're raucous albums. The MC5 album, like I explained in the other episode, is just really wild and raucous and raunchy, like kind of garage rock, right? But there's a heaviness to it. There's an energy to it that, was at the time something new and fresh, and all these years later has been looked at as so influential on heavy music in general. Same thing with the Stooges album. I mean, here you've got and this album, again, call it proto-punk, whatever you want. There's lots of psychedelia going on this album. There's definitely hard rock happening. Again, 1969. Hard rock, really not quite a term yet. Hard rock basically around that era was the psychedelic era, the blues era, moving into heavier, louder, raw, more uncompromising areas, right? Introducing improvisation and, just pent-up aggression. That's the Stooges album. But the Stooges album also you can call it kind of garage rock. But there's stuff going on in the Stooges album that you can pinpoint to all sorts of other areas, right? So certainly the vocals of Iggy Pop, excuse me, at the time, very much in the style of what we would see from bands like the New York Dolls, like the Ramones, like the Sex Pistols, right? That kind of that vocal style that was very prevalent on a lot of punk bands in just a few short years, right? But then you've got this guy on guitar, right? Ron Ashton, who is playing long, acid-laced guitar solos using fuzz and distortion. Extended soloing, right? Within these kind of mostly shorter songs. There's a couple longer tracks on the album, but all this injecting kind of like this, kind of guitar hero type of thing going on in these semi-simplistic songs with all this energy, right? You've got Dave Alexander on bass, and then you got Scott Ashton on drums, along with Iggy, of course, on vocals. So some great tracks on this album. 1969, haunting, dark, heavy rock with lots of guitar soloing. In fact, you could argue that's probably one of the greatest guitar solo albums in the career of the Stooges, right? I Want to Be Your Dog. Again, that's proto-punk right there. The kind of repetitive rhythms and riffs and vocals type of thing. You got We Will Fall, this 10-minute long atmospheric kind of spooky psychedelic dirge. Very different from anything else on this album. All right, you got No Fun. No Fun is raucous, in your face. Okay, heavy rocking. Same thing with Real Cool Time. Okay, but there's a playfulness and a catchiness to that song, I think, which we would see in punk later on. Then you got, again, the haunting, moody Anne. Anne and We Will Fall, the 2 really moody kind of psychedelic pieces on here. Then you got, to finish it off, and again, neither song are very long, for about 3 minutes each, Not Right and Little Doll. both with some good metallic riffing, heavy rhythms, and you got, Iggy's kind of nasally, whiny sort of vocal style, which really fits the music, right? Really cool stuff, and I just love the lead guitar work throughout this album. You can need the follow-up album also is just quite good with, a lot of these weird, we're closing out the 60s, moving to the 70s, but we're kind of trying to do something new. So those early Stooges albums are very, very cool. You guys know me, you've been watching me for a long time. I'm not really a punk fan, but I like some of these bands that like early on were utilizing, you could, the Blue Cheer were doing a little bit of that too. I love the early MC5. I like the early Stooges a lot. I like the New York Dolls as well. I like when that kind of style of music was just in its infancy, a little more raw, okay? But incorporating, different things. So, so that's my pick for today, the Stooges' 1969 self-titled debut. Let me hold that up for you here once again. Pull it up on the phone. Where'd that go? Where'd it go? I lost it. Sorry, guys. Anyway, you know what the cover title looks like. Got the four guys on the cover. It's a very cool looking cover. So that is my pick for today from 1969. We got one more from 69 tomorrow before we move into 1970 officially. We got some good ones coming up in the 70s. So stay tuned for that. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. Thanks for watching. I am Pete Pardo. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell. We've got the link to our Ko-Fi page below for channel donations, the link to our merch page where you get all sorts of cool Sea of Tranquility shirts and things, and of course seatranquility.org, our webzine that has been on the internet for 20 years this year. Just think at the end of December as we move into January, I can stop saying that because then we'll be on year 21, right? So thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you tonight with let's see what we got in the Prog Seat tonight. It's Tuesday night. So thanks for watching, everybody. See you real soon. Bye-bye.